they walked down the street and saw a pit bull and liked a pit bull. So they showed up here at this event. Maybe they know nothing about dogs and they just stumbled out of the bar. We don't know, right? So the point of it is that all of us have something in common already. And you may not know your neighbor, but you have something in common with them. And what is it? That you all love pit bulls. Right? Okay. So now that we all have something in common and we're all friends and all that kind of stuff, right? Good. All right, so tonight we have a great night planned for you. We want to thank you for coming out, taking your time out of your busy, wild Saturday night and hanging out here with us. One person told me when I invited them to this event, and it's a quick story, but they told me, well, I don't want to go to the vigil because the vigil's sad, right? I said, well, yeah, I guess the vigil can be sad. We're remembering dogs that we, weren't able to save. But let's also remember tonight all the dogs that we have saved. There's a lot of animal control officers here, people that are in different rescues, different rescue organizations that came from far away. So just remember, we're all here for the same cause, and be proud of what you've all accomplished so far this year and in your past life, because we've done a lot. And tonight you're going to see a lot of that. So everybody, I would like to introduce you to Jason Flatt. He's going to take the stage for a little while and talk. Some of you may know him, some of you may not.
Hey. Thank you. 4th year we're here. We're here to remember the pit bulls that we didn't save. Everybody always, like Holly called me before, she says, you want to go over some numbers, what we've done, how many dogs we've taken in, how many dogs we've spayed and neutered, how many dogs were adopted this year, how many dogs... No, I don't.
Shut down.
No, I don't, because it doesn't matter. Taking 1,000 dogs, still 1,000 more out there. The numbers that matter to me are the ones that die in the shelters. Doesn't matter how they get there, whether they're a stray dog, whether they come from a dog fighting ring, whether they're owners of surrender, a cruelty case. Everybody's worried about this one, that one. Truth of the matter is, we don't rescue them, they die there. Been doing this since 2009 as a rescue, as a licensed rescue. Coming up, every year we're still here. The numbers, the emails just keep coming. There's more and more for us to do. And just to put like a little bit of, put it into perspective, when I first started, there was a lot of breed-specific pit bull rescues in the Atlanta area. Every one of those rescues that were around when I started are no longer rescuing. A lot of them got into outreach, advocacy, spay and neuter, but there's not that many people out there really rescuing these dogs. So we're here again, and every year we just keep growing. Not by choice, but by need. And so I'm going to focus on the ones we didn't save right now. And then later on, when I come back to speak to you again, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do about it. So I'm done talking for now. Thank you guys for coming. I'm going to introduce you to a good friend of mine, Mary Jo Young. She's the president of Pitbull Rescue Central. She's also the founder of Braveheart Pitbull Rescue up in Lakeville, Massachusetts. I met Mary many years ago when I first started the rescue back in 2009. 2 months after I started the rescue, I rescued 38 fighting dogs from a dog fighting ring. And I was introduced through a mutual rescuer to Mary. And Mary stepped up for some of my Dublin dogs and took them in. And we've been friends ever since. And without further ado, Mary Jo Young.
Hey everybody. Thank you for having us here. I'm not a public speaker, so bear with me. I don't like people. I'd much rather be with the pit bulls. I figured I would start out. I don't know if people are going to the event afterwards. Feel free to ask me any questions about Pitbull Rescue Central and what we do, and also Breakheart Rescue. But what I thought I'd talk about tonight is how I got introduced to Pitbull Rescue. I got married in October 9th, 1999. And my husband had been stationed over in Hawaii. And while he was there, he had a Pitbull mix named Stashes. And he couldn't afford to quarantine the dog and bring him over here. So what we did was, I had a Samoyed and a Lab at the house, and they both passed away. So when I was ready for another dog, I didn't want another Samoyed because it reminded me of Koriak too much. So I said to my husband, what kind of dog should we get? And he said, a Pitbull. And I said, what? They eat people. So I went online. That's when the internet first started, and I researched about Pitbulls. And I started seeing how neglected they were and how abused they were. And we went out and looked at a litter of puppies that were in rescue. And the puppies were born on my birthday, so I saw that as a sign. And I adopted. On the way home, we stopped at Super Kmart. And I put this little tiny puppy that was 9 weeks old in a carriage, in a cart. And we were going around the aisles. And a woman came down the aisle. And she said, oh my God, that is the cutest puppy. We all know that Pitbulls are really cute puppies, right? And she went to find her friend to say, look at this cute puppy. And her friend grabbed this woman and ran out of the store saying, that's a Pitbull. So that was my first introduction to breed prejudice. And from there I got involved with rescue.
I got my first pit bull in 2012. I knew nothing about pit bulls. I saw him on Pet Finder at my local shelter, and I thought he was cute, so I adopted him and brought him home. And that began my journey. Through him, I met Mary and volunteered with Mary's Rescue, and I learned everything that I could possibly learn. And he's no longer with me today. But my third pit bull, I got through Mary, but originally he came from Friends to the Forlorn. I lost him in June.
You want to get yourself together? She loved him.
I always tell people, never give up on the tough dogs, because they're the dogs that will teach you what you didn't think you needed to know. And I think people tend to shy away from the fearful dogs, and I think we see a lot of fearful pitties and dogs that really need a little extra. So I encourage you, if you've shied away from a fearful dog or a dog with anxiety, to please give them a chance. Have some patience with them. They need you just as much as the ones that are pasted together. And I'm just rambling, so I'm going to give the microphone back to Mary.
Well, I just want to say that, I'm retiring now, and there aren't too many rescues that I support. So I totally respect and I agree with Jason's ethics. There's not too many out there that I would follow, and I kind of pass the torch to him.
Mary, what do you see in Massachusetts that's different from what you see here in Georgia regarding pit bull rescue? Since you're from up there, I'm from up there too, but what do you see that's the difference here?
I think there's a big difference in that there's a lot of dog fighting down here in the south, and that happens to be my favorite type of pit bull to take in, the game dogs. But right now, pit bulls are 99% in our shelters up north too, so it's kind of like everywhere. It's awful. It really is awful.
Thank you, ladies, so much for coming out and giving your personal stories. We appreciate it. We all know We all know that feeling, right? When you have that special dog, and it's hard to talk about. So we appreciate you taking the time tonight. All right, so next we have up, flip my page here. Okay, our second speaker tonight is a local accomplished actress and animal advocate. She'll be premiering in the Quad television series on BET in January. You may have recently seen her volunteering with Best Friends Animal Society at the Strut Your Mutt event. She has been involved in pet rescue and adoption for over 17 years and has a passion for companion animals. She's an advocate for our furry friends and has created and produced public service announcements and digital videos to promote pet adoption, training, and care. She has fought politicians to stop BSL in the state of Georgia and is currently volunteering with DeKalb County Animal Control to identify possible working dogs that would otherwise be euthanized. We're lucky to have her at our event tonight. Please, everyone, give a huge welcome to Michelle Kabashinsky.
Thank you so much. When I was a little girl, I wanted to marry my dog. And I used to lay on the floor with him and try to get him to snuggle with me. But he wasn't too much into that. And then as an adult, the 17 years I've been involved in rescue, all the dogs I fostered and adopted, not one of them ever wanted to snuggle. I always just wanted a dog to just snuggle and spoon with. Not one of them was interested until I rescued a 100-pound Pitbull from Newton County Shelter, and all he did was snuggle. I couldn't even get him up to go for a walk because he just wanted to lay in bed and snuggle. That was my baby, and I just recently lost him too, so I can't talk about him anymore. But around that same time when we rescued him in 2004, 2005, there was a Georgia State representative who was drafting breed-specific legislation. And I got on the phone to him, and everybody knows that BSL, see, I'm going to use my notes. Jason told me not to use notes. Everyone knows that BSL is based on how people feel. They're scared. But it's our job as Pitbull advocates to change the way people think about how they feel about pit bulls. So I took it upon myself to change the way he thought, and I researched as many Pitbull advocates as I could. And should I pause for the train? I don't know what the rules are. Sure. Okay, ding. Yes, so I researched as many Pitbull advocates as I could, and I discovered all these wonderful facts, and I called him every day, and I was on the phone with him every day, and I was just trying to change his mind. And I brought some of the facts with me. Are you interested in hearing them? Yeah. Okay. I thought this was kind of cool. And the term pit bull, you guys probably already know this, the term pit bull encompasses 11 AKC and UKC registered breeds. And BSL can include even more breeds, just based on their physical appearance, like a blockhead. So that's a lot of dogs if you're going to discriminate against, you know? And this one was interesting. The American Temperament Test Society tested the temperaments of over 185 dog breeds in 24 years, rating the American Pit Bull Terrier and the American Staffordshire Terrier above 80%, which was higher than the national average. So pit bulls are much cooler than the average dog, right?
Yeah.
So you just keep that statistic in your back pocket when you meet people. Pit bulls are often used in search and rescue. We're seeing now police officers are seeing the benefits of their prey drive. The only problem that they're having right now is pit bulls are too nice to people. You know, they find the criminal and then they lick its face. And this was interesting. Pitties are ambassadors as therapy dogs and for bite prevention courses. They take them to schools for kids and teach them about bite prevention. Hello. It's awesome. And then NASA used them to help find the shuttle pieces after the tragedy. Here's something cool that I shared with the state representative. Let's see if you guys remember some of this American culture facts. Do you remember Spuds McKenzie? Yes. What was he promoting? Beer. Pit bulls for Bud Light, I think it was. And then Teague was the pit bull for Buster Brown Shoe Company. Sorry about the wind. Nipper was the RCA pit bull dog. Remember him? Yep. And okay, who was the dog that the little kids played with in the black and white TV show? Edie for the Little Rascals. I mean, come on, these are good pit bulls. They're all good. And then my favorite is Stubby. Who remembers Stubby?
Sergeant Stubby.
Oh, Sergeant Stubby. Yeah.
Stubby's what?
Sergeant Stubby.
Sergeant Stubby from World War I. He single-pointedly held a German. Was in his jaw. Jawedly held a German spy captive. Sorry, Iris. Until the U.S. troops came. All right, just some more quick facts, and if I'm boring you, just let me know. This one was kind of cool. The American Veterinary Medical Association conducted a joint study with the Center for Disease Control, and they found that the top breed that was responsible for the most fatal dog bites over a 20-year period changed depending on what breed was popular.
True.
Go figure. You know, first it's Great Danes, and then it's Rottweilers, and then it's Dobermans, and then it's Chows, yeah, you name it. And next, Chihuahuas.
Oh, hell yes.
Right? I'm kidding, but you guys know what I'm talking about. All right. What else was kind of fun? So yeah, the dogs that are biting, they're labeled like there's something wrong with them. Any being with teeth, including us, is capable of biting. Just ask Mike Tyson, right? So why are we saying there's something wrong with them just because they bit? And we're all familiar with canine communication. I mean, they have these warning signs when they're going to bite. They snarl, they growl, their hackles go up. Hackles, Amy, their hackles. Their hackles go up. You know, they get in that stance. But a lot of modern obedience training, I learned this through all this research. They would train that was bad, that those warning signs were bad. So when they were provoked or whatever, needed to bite, they would bypass those warning signs and go straight for the bite. So I think, obviously, we all know that education of a responsible pet owner, the more we know, the less bites there will be. But BSL was in response not to us, the responsible pet owner, but it's to the core issue, which revolves around illegal activity, illegal drugs, illegal weapons, dog fighting, abuse, including training. And so we know that BSL just doesn't work, and I'm trying to spell this out for this Georgia State representative on the phone every day, creating this 5-page report for him to change the way he thinks about how he feels about pit bulls. So I get just a few more stats. Prince George County, Maryland, reviewed their aggressive dog bill and concluded in a 300-page report that the law was costly and ineffective. Yeah. Let me hear a yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
They recommended lifting the ban because it was punishing the responsible owner and not reducing criminal activity. And then in Council Bluffs, Iowa, the city council focused its legislation on humans as the problem. Yeah. They instituted a 3 strikes law for guardians, listing a host of offenses for animal abuse. I personally think it should be 1 strike. Just saying. And now we're seeing progress. I think approximately now 20 states prohibit breed discrimination laws. we're as a group, we're educating people and we're trying to show them the positive side. And this stuff is silly. We got to go to Montreal next, and that's why I love Jason and his team. Because they're not just rescuing pit bulls and helping to find homes, but they're also out in the community and they're educating people about the way that it's a positive promotion of this awesome breed. I know they weren't the breed, but hey. So anyway, I put together the report and I tried to change the way he thought, and I sent it to him, this Georgia state representative who's trying to create the BSL, and I called him the last time. And he said, I'm not going to introduce the bill. And I said, why? Can I ask why? He said, because you educated me. Yeah. So we can do this one dopey person at a time, right? I mean, they've just have given misinformation from the news media, right? So that makes us have to work harder because of it. So progress is good, but we still have a ways to go, as Jason mentioned. My husband and my friend Amy Hoy and I, we go to the DeKalb County Animal Shelter and we walk and we bathe dogs. And there are hundreds of pitbulls. And we try to make videos of them when we're out there playing with them, and they're like all so cute, and they're snuggling on our lap, and we cross-post it on social media. So there's ways to just kind of educate people softly, like they're cool. And then I'll see people in public and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you hang out with pit bulls. Why pit bulls? I'm like, shut up. Read my report. So I get sad when I go to the shelter sometimes when I leave them there. But I come here and I'm with all you guys. And I'm just filled with hope that we're all working together to change the way people think about how they feel about pit bulls. And someday, soon, we'll be here not for a vigil, but to celebrate and have a party. What do you say? Yeah. My name's Michelle Kavashinsky, and I love pit bulls.
Thank you, Michelle. That was great. All right. Ready for more? Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Parker is next. So let me get my little intro on Parker in case you don't know who she is. I will tell you all about her. Okay. Our final speaker is a local journalist, published author, and TV personality. She has her own television show called What's on Parker's Plate and does cooking segments for TV shows around the country. She's a huge pit bull lover, and many of you may know her by her ridiculously cute Facebook posts on Tom and Jerry. Tom and Jerry are two pit bulls that she recently adopted from Friends to the Forlorn. She has been a huge supporter and advocate for Friends, and we are so glad to call her a friend to us. Please, everyone, put your hands together for Parker Wallace.
Oh my God, you guys, it was a year ago last night that we had our successful meet and greet with my Princess Bonnie and Tom and Jerry, and it was just like love at first sight. And they have been just a pile of snuggles for the last year, and I've been obviously posting all of these photos, and nothing made me happier. I mean, before I got ready tonight, they were all lying in my bed, because I had to upgrade to the king size, because they all sleep in the bed with us, and we've gone through a lot of sheets, a lot of comforters too. But I had to just lie down with them, because they were so snuggly and so sweet, and I just had that moment of just being like, I'm so grateful to have these dogs in my life. And as many of you know, I met Jason when I was anchoring this local TV show here, and I was like, this is a great opportunity to do positive stories about pit bulls. And 3 weeks into these segments where, we're bringing on these adorable dogs with tutus and bow ties, and my boss pulled me into his office and he said, yeah, no one wants to see pit bulls on TV every week. I said, really? Because I'm pretty sure if there was a report of some alleged pit bull attack that you'd have a crew there first. And that's the problem. Because if you Google, this is along the lines of what Michelle was saying, if you Google pit bull dog bite attack, what comes up but this nifty little graph that shows that, with statistics, and as the journalism girl, I'm like, okay, I've got to go by statistics. And it says 81% of all vicious dog bites and deaths associated with dog bites are due to pit bulls. And then you realize, when you really do the math, that this is not representative of actual pit bull attacks and dog bites. It's what news stations chose to report. So those statistical websites that show these numbers, they're not real numbers. They're doing the fancy analytics that, crawl through the internet to pick up the number of news stories reported. And those are where those numbers come from. And I've worked in TV stations in Atlanta and LA and New York and Baltimore and Connecticut. And in every single instance, I've witnessed news managers say, well, if it wasn't a pit bull, then we're not going to cover it. What? It's horrifying. And if you look at any other dog bite statistic, if it's not a pit bull, the headline doesn't read what the dog breed is. Right. And a San Francisco Chronicle study just published that a few years ago, showing that the golden retriever bite, it was sub-headline dog bite, but when it's a pit bull, it's pit bull attack. So what do? We get angry and we get defensive about our dogs, and that's not a good place to be, because it's not moving the needle in terms of public opinion. So we have to, as Michelle said, get facts, the real facts, in front of the people who are making legislation. And we also, every positive pit bull photo of Tom and Jerry licking Bonnie and, the happy faces, those just people who I don't even know on Facebook have messaged me saying, oh, because of your photos and your videos and what you've talked about these dogs, I adopted a pit bull. And that means more to me than anything. If one person's mind can be changed, then they can change somebody else's mind. So, makes me very emotional. In saying that, and we all have to use whatever platform we have to promote this breed that we love so much. So I'm so excited, you guys, because I am launching my Apple TV show called Parker's Puppy Plate. We were going to call it Parker's Pitbull Plate, but I didn't want to turn it, the naysayers off. I wanted them to oh, what's this puppy treat show about? And then they're going to see Tom and Jerry and Bonnie and be like, oh my God, I love these pit bulls.
Yeah.
So I have 2 corporate sponsors ready to sign paperwork. A national dog collar company and a national dog sitting company. These are big. This is a big deal because they represent a lot of different dogs, but they're willing to put their money behind a show about pit bulls and feeding them delicious treats. And I will be donating 10% of those corporate proceeds to Friends to the Forlorn, so we can continue to move this effort forward and change people's minds.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Parker. We're so grateful for you. Thank you for all you do. How many of you, this is your first vigil, first time coming to the vigil? Raise your hand. Whoa, a lot of newbies. Okay, good. We like that. Well, welcome. So I know Jason doesn't like stats, but I'm a stat person, so I'm going to give you a few stats just so you know. And you know why? And the reason is because Jason works hard. Let me tell you, 24/7, 7 days a week, 3 hours of sleep a night. Him and Tony are out there busting their butts, bathing dogs, cleaning up after dogs, feeding dogs, massaging dogs, doing therapy on the dogs, whatever they can do. Believe me, it's a sleepless, long night in the life of him. So I'm proud of all the work that we do, and we've done a lot, and so I'm going to give you just a few stats. So total dogs that we have ever taken in, oh, and let me just back up a little bit. So one other thing, remember, when you take in, a lot of groups take in a lot of dogs, but our dogs, when you take them in, most of them are in pretty bad shape. So they're usually not even ready for adoption for 6 months. And then to find a pit bull a home, they're usually with us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years before they find a home. So they're not the cute little scruffy dogs that are walking around that everybody's lining up to get. So, but in our since 2009, we have taken in 471 dogs. We have adopted out 412 of those dogs. And so far, year to date, we have, just for this year, we've taken in 55 dogs, and we've adopted out 57 dogs. So that's a lot of dogs when you're looking at the pit bulls that we're taking in that need a lot of medical care and are heartworm positive and have been, legs are broken and hit by car and those kind of things. So we're proud of those numbers, and I'm proud to tell Jason that he's, very well appreciated with all he does for the community. Works really hard at it. So those numbers are reflective of it. So that's again to him. So what's next? Let's see. I have to stay on schedule or Stacy gets really upset. So, one other thing, I just wanted to give a little quick shout out. We have a few extra minutes before Jason gets up here. So if he starts talking, he never leaves. So I'm going to get it all out now. So the next person, the one thing I wanted to do is give a quick shout out. Some of you guys don't even know who we all are. So to the board members of Friends to the Forlorn. So I'm one of the board members. I'm Holly Nelson, if you didn't know that. We have Jason, who's one of the board members, of course. And we have Lenny Carr. Where are you, Lenny? Raise your hand. So he's right up here in the front. He's one of our board members. And we have Alan Spiegel. Okay, right here in the front. And we have Lori Reagan. Lori is over here in the corner. So we have Dr. Leathers and then me. So Dr. Leathers not here tonight, I don't think. And then we have Emily.
There he is.
Oh, he is? Oh, Dr. Leathers is here. Oh my God. And then did I get Emily? Emily? Oh, where are you? Oh, all the way back by the table. That's Emily and her husband Greg, so we call them Gremily together. So, yeah. All right, so Jason is up next.
Yay!
Holly used to be a board member. Thank you for your service. Jennifer from Paulding County Animal Control. Where are you? Come up here. I'm putting you on the spot. She doesn't know what this is. Hi. How are you? You all right? There's people here. There's witnesses. It's okay. Okay. Tell me about a dog named Donna. Tell me.
Okay.
Donna came into Paulding County Animal Control. Senior Pitbull. How old was she?
We think at least 8.
About 8 years old. How'd she come in? Was she a stray?
Yeah.
She was a stray. Really a dog. Awesome dog. Everybody loved her. Especially Jennifer.
Yeah.
Okay. She's probably the shelter favorite.
Oh, God. Mine.
Okay. Jennifer took really good care of this dog. And how long was she there? 2.5 months? 3 months? Okay. Unfortunately, she had cancer, and she didn't make it. They had to put it down. And tonight, you know, working in animal control, people think, you know, you put dogs down and dogs come in there and you get used to it and you harden to it, because it's something that you see all the time. And yes, you do see it all the time. And when animal control has a heart and they care, you know, it hurts. It hurts a lot. So tonight, I want to present you with something. Thank you for caring. Okay. Little photo collage for her. And take your baby home. Here's her ashes. All right. Thank you. Unfortunately, that's something that we see a lot, you know. You don't really see senior pit bulls anymore. They don't make it that long. They die at alarming rates. And we could go over stats, and we could sit there and you could talk about all the dogs that we take in, and we talk about that. All right, I'm going to give you a number that just negates it all. Over 1 million of them are killed in pounds every year. I don't follow it anymore because it never changes. Every year it's the same thing. And all the good that we do and all the dogs that we spay and neuter, I mean, the last 3 years, what, 3,000, close to 3,000 dogs we've fixed. We've helped people. I've given out 100,000 pounds of dog food to help people, flea preventative, heartworm preventative. I'm not scratching the surface. So it's time to do more. And people say, oh, you know, how can you do more? You can always do more. There's a lot more that we can do. And, you know, we're at the point now, it's either we stay where we are and we're done, or we grow. So, Holly introduced you to my powerhouse of a board, all people that I respect and I trust. And, you know, because it was just us, it was just the volunteers that kind of ran the place for a while. And, you know, it's dangerous when you elect a board as you grow, because you can lose control. And this is everything that I have. This is everything to me anyway. So I assembled a board that I thought can help us grow and get us to where we need to be. Like I said, Pitbull rescues fold at an alarming rate. And you know why? Because it ain't easy. How I told you, dogs stay around for a long time. Dogs we take in aren't adoptable right away. Some of them are never adoptable. Some of them are going to stay with me for life. And so be it. But I'm prepared for it. So now I've made it my mission. I'm going to build a place. And we're in the process. A lot of you know that we had that, where's Bailey? There you are. Bailey got us into Michelson Foundation, the Crowd Rise fundraiser that we were in, that month-long fundraiser. And we came in second place in the United States. And with prize money, we raised $170,000 in 4 weeks. Yeah, that blew my mind. Bailey came to me with the idea, and I'm like, yeah, sure, go ahead, Bailey, do it. She says, what do you think we're going to raise? And I think I said, 25,000?
Yeah.
We raised 170.
Yeah.
170, I think it was over 1,800 donations. There was nobody set up to give us big donations. Majority of them were small, little donations. And that's the way we've done things from day one. The little people making a difference.
All adds up.
I'm not politically correct. I'm not fancy. I'm not corporate anymore. Just grinding it out. And that's what we've always done. My $2 Tuesdays, things like that. But we've done it what I think is the right way and the honest way. We do it with integrity. We do it with sincerity. So we're going to build a place. I'm going to build the best place that you guys have ever seen. It's going to be beyond your wildest dreams for these dogs. And unfortunately, we were trying to get some zoning done. Supposed to have a hearing with the county on the 25th, but that got put off. We don't know when it's going to be yet. We're working on that too. We've got a lot of people pulling for us, and we're looking at putting up a 30,000 square foot facility, top of the line. I mean, things that you can't even imagine. So be patient. I'm going to break ground on this place 3 years. Less? You think so?
Yeah.
$2 Tuesday, Lenny, sign up. The coffee ain't cutting it, my friend. I'm being realistic. We're looking at between $4 and $6 million to build this place. And we call my place now the Pitbull Palace. This is going to be the palace. This is going to be the place that everybody writes about. And we're going to do it. And I'll leave you with that. You guys ready to close it out?
Yeah.
So this time, guys, bring it in a little closer. We're supposed to turn our candles off, actually. Let's be real. I'm not that close. You got me a little... Back off. Now we're going to light some candles. We're going to light the candles for the 1 million+ pit bulls that don't make it out of the pound. And like I said before, it doesn't matter how they get there. They're going to die there unless somebody does something about it. I'm trying. I got a good crew. I've got really good volunteers, really good people, really good families that adopt from us. Got the best vets in the world, the best board members. And we're going to grow. We're going to do it. And we're going to hit some bumps in the road, but I'm used to that. Look at me. So let's turn these things on. Let's hold these candles up for all the ones that didn't make it out. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. It means a lot to us. After this, if everybody could just go around that fountain for the annual group photo. And we'll see a lot of you back at Mazzy's for the after party.